United in Peace, Inc. And I'm also known as the Urban Translator. Before I start my show, let me say to God be the glory. Let me say I appreciate my executive director and producer of this show, Miss Terry Marsh, who is also the chairman of United Peace Inc., and I've been blessed for her to be my wife. And let me let everyone know how you can get in touch with United in Peace Inc. The email is LAGATOR, the letter B as in boy, the number 4, the word peace, at yahoo.com. Again, the email is LAGATOR, the letter B as in boy, the number 4, the word peace, PEACE, at yahoo.com. And this is the Bradley Report. The web page is the bradleyreport.unitedinpeaceinc.org. Today's show is going to be very enlightening because we're going to deal with some certain key issues. I want to start with last week I had made mention that 2 judges had to recuse themselves from the case of the Laquan McDonald and the 3 officers who were charged and indicted with covering up what happened when Laquan McDonald got killed. I've just been informed that there's a 3rd judge who is now presiding over that case. And we need to thank the special prosecutor for asking for another judge to come in that wouldn't be biased against those that feel that these officers need to be found guilty. So again, I'm bringing that up because you got judicial elections that's coming in March of 2018. So I want everyone to pay attention to the sitting judges who have experience on the bench, as well as those who's willing to run to become a judge in Cook County. So please pay attention to the judicial elections that's coming March 2018. And one of the things that's very key and very important is that I'm seeing where 4 young guys who were from 13, I believe, to 16, they call them the Inglewood 4, who was wrongfully convicted for raping someone and murdering someone, and they come to find out they were released from the penitentiaries because of DNA that showed that they didn't commit the crime. But what's really telling, one of the young individuals, he had just received a settlement, I believe, for $5.2 million from Cook County here recently, maybe a day ago. But the thing about it is, some information that was sealed, and what I mean by being sealed, there's certain documents that the city asked to be sealed and not to be exposed for the public eye to see. Where those documents, once that settlement happened, the documents in the federal court were no longer sealed. And it came out and it showed how some of the officers that was involved in coercing confessions from these guys were working in concert with some assistant state's attorneys to help make that happen. We'll talk about that probably next week because I have so much to do with short time to give it. And then the city end up, they expected to pay $500,000 in a taser lawsuit because this officer tased this woman who was pregnant. And I believe she ended up having a miscarriage behind that incident. And we have to hold these officers accountable. We have to hold these officers accountable for what they're doing when they're brutalizing citizens of the city of Chicago. There has to be a way. Well, let me say this. I know that vengeance is the Lord's, and I know He's going to find a way to address those officers that break the law, to create pain and suffering for various victims. This young lady lost her child because she was tased, and I believe the city has came to an agreement to settle for $500,000. It's not going to bring her baby back. But still in all, it's some semblance of justice when we all come together and we demand it. There's a major election that's coming up in March of 2018, and that election is for the governor's race. And it has hit the paper that this is going to be one of the most expensive races in the state of Illinois, possibly to the tune of $200 million. Just between Governor Rauner and J.B. Pritzker, they spend close to $121,000 a day, I believe, since April. $121,000 a day since April on this race to represent us. And the reason that that much money is being spent is because Rauner himself has already put $50 million from his own pocket into his campaign. Then he ended up getting another $20 million from a guy, I believe it's Ken Griffey, if I'm not mistaken, who went into his pocket and donated $20 million to Rauner. So Pritzker is the only one who has that type of money to run a strong campaign against individuals that's willing to spend tens to maybe hundreds $1 million in election to become the governor. And the people in the state of Illinois saw what Rauner did for 2 years without a budget and the harm that that caused the citizens of Illinois. Your opinion is what I'm expecting and I'm respecting because it's honored on this show. I need to know, what do you think about this government election? I need to know, what do you think about those 4 young men that was wrongfully convicted and now they're free? What do you think should happen to the police officers and the assistant state's attorneys that may have colluded to wrongfully prosecute those young individuals? We as citizens can do some things by letting it be known the wrong that's being done to others. Don't just sit back and say you don't see the difference in Pritzker because he's a billionaire, and you don't see the difference in Pritzker and Rauner because they both 2 men that have money and they may want to buy the governor's office. But there's other individuals that's in the race as well. You follow what I'm saying? There's about 6 other individuals in the race. Kennedy, T.O. Hardeman, I believe the 47th Ward Alderman is running. A state senator, I believe his name is Biss. He's running. So there's going to be a lot of money in the race. But one of the things that I'm asking my viewing audience to do is to make sure that everyone that's running for that office to be concerned for us as African Americans that we get our fair share of jobs, contracts, and appointments. Okay? There's issues like even as late as yesterday, where you see the county board president, Tony Preckwinkle, goes off on Rauner because you can't understand why, even though a budget has passed, the most important part to the budget, to me, is the education part. And for some reason, he don't want to agree to the money that's coming to help Chicago public schools. But it's a part of the big budget. It's a part of the total budget. So if he veto that part within the budget, it's going to be hard for the schools within the state of Illinois to open on time. So I understand why Preckwinkle is upset with the governor, because time out. We got to think about these children. We got to aid and assist them to get better education, and to start with this caller that just came on the line. Caller, could you please state your name, voice your opinion? Caller?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Could you please state your name and voice your opinion? Is expected and respected on my show.
Yeah, my name is Ray, and I call you most every week. You know what gets me about these politicians? Now, you're thinking about Rauner, and it's his fault. The school system has gotten a lottery, supposedly, amongst other things, just for education. Where did that money go? These politicians that they're going to give you this and that are Democrats. They're the ones who have everything messed up. That's why we owe $20, $30 billion that we don't have, because the money goes everywhere else except for education. Just like when the lottery was there. Mm-hmm. None of the money was there. So what were we supposed to do? Blame one man or blame them all? If you're going to blame Rauner, blame them all. Because they're the ones, all the Democrats, the top boys, and you know who I'm talking about.
Right.
They're the ones who have been running this state for the last 20 years, and nothing has gotten better. It's gotten worse.
You know, Dan, I agree with you. And that's why we, as the public, who elect the individuals to go to office, to hold them more accountable. I think this is where it starts right here with the election of 2018. For us to say that the money that they raising taxes for, or the different programs that they say this is why they're raising the taxes, I agree with you. That money should go to where it's supposed to go. I remember how everyone says the lottery, the money from the lottery is going towards education. And everyone felt that that is wonderful because we saw where this revenue was going to always come. Everyone was playing the lottery. They took the lottery away from those that was doing the policy in order to pay for education. So I agree with you to the point that even with this tax that County Board President Tony Preckwinkle is pushing about the soft drinks. I believe it went to court again today, and I hope that the judge made a decision to let the tax go forward, because you got to have revenue to pay for the services. For her to have to fire 17 state's attorneys, and I think 22 staff members within the state's attorney's office is wild, because she's gonna have to fire public defenders and sheriffs.
Can I say this, please?
Yeah, please. I got another caller that came on.
By saying she's not going to she's not going to raise the taxes and stuff. Now she's got a 13% on beverage tax. See, that don't care. I don't care about that because
Right.
I go to Indiana. I get up.
Hey, 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 man. Hey. I want to say this because I got another caller that's coming on. You're a conscious consumer. You follow what I'm saying? But a tax on pop, from what I'm hearing from the people that own property, is better than property taxes. You follow what I'm saying? So for those that don't want to pay the tax on the pops,
You're right.
go across the state line or drink a lot of water. Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate you, man. Every week that you call, I appreciate you. I have to agree with what he's saying because there's a lot of things that's happening within our city. And I'm hearing where a lot of ex-felons that come out, I run into them and they ask me, Gator, where can we find a job? Where can we get a job? I got some information for you. Safer Foundation just got $4.5 million to boost their program, matching ex-felons, ex-inmates to jobs. I want to ask you to call Safer because they're trying to help individuals not commit crimes again or go back to the penitentiary. And I'm speaking as an ex-felon. And sometimes you need someone to help give you a chance for you to really have a second chance. Cook County Commissioner Jerry Butler did that for me and a host of others. So I'm saying, brothers, sisters, call Safer and let them know that you interested and find out about that program. We got to stop screaming, can't nothing be done, when there's a lot of things that's happening that can be done. And all we got to do is reach out to the organizations and sometimes take time and read the various newspapers, community newspapers. Sometimes I feel, just my opinion, there are stories within the community newspapers that can help us work a workable solution to some of our problems. On that note, everybody is screaming about Trump. I saw this on the news the other day, where now Trump is trying to think or trying to put it out there. Do we have the power to give himself a pardon, his family members a pardon, and other individuals a pardon because of this investigation about the collusion with his staff, his campaign staff, with the Russians? And this investigation that's out there that Mueller, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, who's now the special prosecutor, is now investigating our president. I say our president because I'm a citizen of the United States. Okay? I didn't vote for him, but he is the president of the United States. They're investigating him for obstruction of justice for firing the FBI director who was investigating this case. And I'm going by what I'm reading, and I'm sure if you go check it out, you can Google it and see it for yourself. They're trying to do everything they can to impede, I think that's the word, but to me, it means to obstruct the investigation of the special prosecutor into the obstruction of justice by President Trump and this Russiagate piece. Every time you look around, it's coming out more and more and more that they're doing a whole lot of crazy things with a foreign government. I'm hearing individuals screaming about treason and everything else, but hey, that's a different story. I'm just saying, for him to get mad at his attorney general, Sessions, for recusing himself, because Sessions was meeting with the Russians too and didn't tell the Senate when he came to get confirmed to become the attorney general. And the attorney general supposed to be about protecting America based on the Constitution, not being beholden to the president. This ain't what I'm saying. This is what Trump said out of his mouth. I'm mad at Sessions, my attorney general, for recusing himself with this Russian investigation. And because he did that, the assistant attorney general end up appointing the special prosecutor because I fired the FBI director. That's what the man is saying. That ain't what Gator's saying. This is what I'm hearing. I know this is what you're hearing too. You know, so I believe they're going to get to the bottom of that because it's over my head. Even if I had a Don King wig, it'd be over my head. So I want to say that for those in Chicago that feel that a lot of things weren't right with that red light and all those tickets, well, it's been brought to my attention through the media that the city just settled for $38,750,000 a settlement. $26,750,000 is the amount of the settlement designated for motorists who paid those fines. $12 million is the debt forgiven for motorists who didn't pay the penalties. Man, I wonder if my name is out there. I paid some of them tickets. I had to pay them because the wife was like, where's this ticket coming from? I mean, you run that light, that ticket came to your house before you got home. You couldn't even lie. 3 pictures got you coming and going. Well, it was a class action suit. I'm going to dig into that. I'm going to see if I got $1 or $2 coming. I might be able to take her to dinner. But hey, I'm saying you need to do the same thing too. You're a citizen of the city of Chicago. If you pay some of those red light fines and those tickets, you need to find out if you get your money back. I bet you can use it. Pay a cable bill or something. You know, my time like is coming short. I must be having fun. So I want to tell everybody, get registered to vote. Let's come together and stop this senseless violence that's happening within our community. It takes all of us. Let's love a little more. Let's hate a little less. And one thing I do know, that if we work just within our family, tell our brothers, tell our sisters, tell our uncles, tell our nieces, that hey, don't hate me to the point that you want to pick up a gun and shoot me, because you might miss me and shoot the neighbor. And that's senseless. So with that, I want to say, to God be the glory. He knows my story. And let's stay together. And let's make this city and this state better for all of us. And please tell our governor, do not veto the school funding. Let our babies go to school so we can concentrate and get them some more books that make sense, to show them how they can have a better education. Let Illinois be #1 instead of 50. Thank you. That's Gator, and I'm out of here.